streaming. So
Well, I know you didn't pre-put it up, so I mean next time you should probably do that.
streaming. Huh?
Pre-post it next time.
Pre-post it. People know that
What's that? You lost a sub.
I lost 2 subs because I had complained that this is the only game you play. I'm like, maybe.
Who said that?
Some guy. I think it was one of our subscribers because I've been playing Persona 4 for the past week straight.
There are people who put up hundreds and hundreds of hours of gameplay of certain games. Like there's one Let's Player that I watch. He's literally posted like 200 hours of Dragon Quest 11.
Yeah.
I don't see what the problem is.
Yeah. You want to be part of this, actually?
He doesn't have to unsubscribe to not watch one particular game that he doesn't like.
That is true, but you know,
that's like ridiculous.
People do things for dumb reasons. But you know what? It is what it is. I'm not gonna piss over it or care about it as well. We're talking about, you want to join or what?
You
don't feel like turning on your computer.
That is a good enough reason.
We'll bring a chair then. We'll share a headset, I guess.
My camera is too slow for you to keep my face on the front.
I'll put my face up on the front. How about that? Huh? I gotta order a new chair for you because one on the bottom of the gaming chair, the bolt, the inside, right? Yeah, it's busted.
And that's why.
It got busted from the move.
I feel
like I'm going to literally stick well, I'm gonna get you a new one once we have the money for it. Right now, we need to give Grim 150 for the emulator thing to help us make
the old droid.
And then we're gonna have to make a lot more than that. But there are 3 people. Hey Ching, hey Ashley, Grim is here too. Alright, so we're going to start with a this is gonna be hard because you won't be able to hear it. That's the problem. We're talking more about mental health. You know more about my mental health than anyone else. Can you please turn it on? No problem. I'll buy you a new chair. Let's start with the games first and work our way to that thing.
Let's talk about the fact that that law passed today in Japan.
Well, it was illegal for modding software and games, consoles.
It's illegal to mod anything now. So that means modding hardware or creating editors for saved games. It's actually illegal.
That's only in Japan. Doesn't apply to us.
Right. It's nothing to do with the United States. The United States would never pass anything like that. Yeah. Simply because in the United States, when you buy a product, yes, that product still might be under a license agreement, but it's your product, so you can do whatever you want to it.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, the Japanese have decided that is no longer going to be the case.
Well, of course, because special interests, they want to have their own highest. They're putting pockets in politician over there.
Well, I mean, let's look at the GameStop article. And oh wow, it comes right up in Google. There must be so many people looking for it.
Mm-hmm. For me, because I used to mod console all the time. We actually use the console, for example, Game Boy Advance and Game Boy SP. We usually use that as the actual processing unit on our robots as our main brain frame. We have a flash drive that basically recoded in into the to the SP or the Game Boy Advance to tell the robot
Right.
what to do.
Right. So, and that's all still fine in the United States.
Yeah.
That's not, but here's the comicbook.com article, which I just did awful. Click back into it. Japan outlaws console modding, now punishable by fines and prison time. Modding video game consoles and editing save files is now illegal in Japan, with more than $45,000 in fines and up to 5 years in prison awaiting those who break the law. I think the prison sentence is a little out of control.
Yeah, why is it, well,
they have some of it. They have some of an explanation here. Let's look at the full kind of article here. So the original article is from GameStop. It says Japan's Unfair Competition Prevention Act had some amendments made to it, which were revealed in December. And now those amendments prevent people from tampering with consoles to mod them. Not only does the law encompass actions that many gamers would consider detrimental to the community, such as modding devices to gain unfair advantage, it also is broad enough to prevent actions such as adding extra games to Nintendo and Sony's classic consoles. These come with preloaded number of games that many people have expanded on by modding more titles into the devices. But that too is now punishable under Japan's new law. The umbrella of the law also includes save editing services. Action Replay, for example. I can't believe you can't have an Action Replay in Japan anymore. And Cyber Save Editor are now forbidden as well. GameStop is reporting that GameSpot. Did I say GameStop? Reporting that both of these have been forcibly discontinued. Both of these products were once very popular in Japan. There's a lot more here, but you get the gist.
Of what's happening.
Japanese law revealed that it takes aim not only at console modders and hackers, but also those who resell codes and keys for games. So, all right, that's kind of the gist of it. Basically, so it's part of the Unfair Competition Prevention Act and its amendments to that act. Look, I get where they're going with it. The reason why it was passed was so, people can't take a NES Classic, mod, 100 of them, and then sell them, for more money.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they did it. But I think that if you own a device, you should be able to do whatever you want to it.
Yeah.
They should. If you paid for it, it's yours.
Yeah.
And if Japan is going to pass a law like this, there's got to be some give and take, right? So if a law like this goes through, then we need some more consumer protection. I feel like we need more consumer protection for digital media, because you can, for example, you need to be protected so that when you buy something digital off Steam, they can't just take it away from you by banning you. Or if the service goes down, they have to be able to provide a way for you to still obtain the digital media that you bought. It kind of goes back to like the Wii and the Wii U Virtual Console. When the Wii U came out and the Wii U Virtual Console came out, you couldn't transfer your games over from the Wii. You had to re-buy them. I get it. They wrote it into the licensing agreement, but I think that should be against the law. I think you should have been allowed to transfer them over. And now with all of the virtual
all it is just double dipping. All they do is
double
dipping,
double
trying to make a
dipping.
profit from it. That's pretty much what it is.
Yeah, it's more than double dipping because think about it, right? They're not allowing you to own what you paid for. Now the virtual console shops are gone, right? So if my Wii U breaks and I get another Wii U, I can't actually go and download all of the virtual console games that I bought. They're gone.
Mm-hmm.
And if Steam decided to ban my account, and as far as I know, GOG, they decided to ban my account.
Well,
right?
the DRM is free, so you can just download it off.
Right, you can, on GOG, right? Exactly. But unless I have them downloaded, GOG can turn around and say you no longer have access to your account, or Steam can just say you no longer own these games. No. If we're going to pass laws that benefit the corporations and protect the corporations in such a way, then consumer protection laws also need to be passed on the other side, giving people who buy digital media more digital rights. Now, we have no digital rights.
Well, right now, we have people in office don't know how internet works. So it's kind of baffling. Probably going to be in next probably 48 more years before something like this will ever be passed. What? She's ready? She's ready. So we're going to continue this. Google the chat is so yeah, I think you could join our chat, Ashley.
I mean, I think something like this, Lance, will never
it's going to take a while.
It'll never happen in the United States.
Well, it will, because we have more and more dipshits passing stupid laws.
You mean the protection of the company, or consumer protection will be coming? I don't know when, but want to have laws protecting corporations like this, you need to also have laws protecting consumers' rights as well. And right now in Japan, it's just that's a very one-sided law.
Well, me and Ashley lived in Japan for about 2 years. The way of life there is very different than what you're going to experience here in America. But usually,
no doubt, culturally, yeah.
Culturally, and also how a business runs in Japan is totally different how business runs in America.
But their copyright laws are similar to ours because they're modeled after ours. So, but you're right; they don't have a base. They don't have a constitution like we have a constitution. But
no, they have a constitution that's based off of us, but usually it's branched out for their people, and we have ours for our people, and a lot of the Congress and everyone doesn't really follow the Constitution.
Well, no, I understand that. I'm just saying that the Constitution in Japan doesn't actually offer as much protection as the U.S. Constitution does, which is why a law like this can get through. So I firmly believe that if someone tried to pass something like this in the United States and somehow it passed through Congress and got signed by the president, it'd get thrown out in a court case.
Yeah.
And in one of the appeals courts, there'd be a civil lawsuit immediately, and it'd be thrown out. It would never stick in the United States. But what does that mean for devices like Action Replay or flashcards?
Well, that means they will have to get illegally from a source, or because a lot of them do visit California and New York, just pick it up there and just take it back in and just peel the sticker off. That's it. How the hell do you think I brought some banned games from Japan over here? I had to freaking wrap it in certain things and just mail it.
What do you mean banned games? What banned games?
Those very provocative games.
So keep in mind, there's nothing banned in the United States.
Oh, there are certain games that are banned in the United States.
No, you cannot ban anything in the United States. It's against the Constitution.
Well, in California, you can't have this certain game. I'm not going to name it. I have it.
Right. I mean, California might decide that that the publisher of that game can't sell it in California, but they can't say you can't have it if you get it somewhere else. Just remember, just keep in mind, there is no such thing as censorship in the United States. censorship doesn't exist at the federal level. The federal government does not censor anything. So there's no such thing as a ban list in the United States. This is, I mean, I guess like if you go back to the 1960s and 50s, there was the last time anything was banned, there were books that were banned, but they don't do that anymore. They got rid of that.
There's books that are banned in schools.
Sure, yeah, the school districts can, ban books, which I think is
But it doesn't
ridiculous.
stop the kids from reading it outside school.
I mean, if you go back to the 1950s, things like Catcher in the Rye was banned.
I still haven't read that book.
I read that in school. It was boring.
I agree. Compared to a lot of stuff that comes out today, it's not that great.
I believe Shakespeare book.
But it's an interesting book because it sets precedent for the way stories and books are written today. Let me give you a good example. So, what's considered one of the best books ever written is James Joyce's Ulysses, which is a 1,000+ page book about a Irish immigrant who came to the United States and his experiences here. And it was written a long time ago. And it introduced a style of writing that didn't exist before. But damn, that story to me is boring. It is boring. Oh my, I cannot read that book at all. I had to read sections of it in school, but they only made us read like sections of it because it's so long. But to me, it's a terrible book. But I get it. It came up with what's called stream of consciousness, which is a type of writing that a lot of people use today. And before James Joyce did that, no one really used that style. So, but Schindler's List, that might have been banned as well. I don't know.
They made a movie about it. I don't think it's banned.
It might have been banned at one time. I don't know. I'd have to look.
It was banned at one point.
Yeah, that was a Spielberg movie. That was a great movie.
I'm not really into a lot of things.
Well, schools try to ban a lot of things nowadays, so.
Yeah, well, our education system hasn't changed, and it needs to change.
It's actually been going downhill, but yeah, pretty much.
I don't understand because I was thinking about teaching. I'm looking at all of these new stuff they implement, like basic. I'm like, no, I don't want to teach. This is like one of the dumbest things.
They implemented this new type of math, and it's weird.
What type of math?
Those basic core basic or something like that.
Oh, core basic. It's just it's an order in which they teach the math.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Yeah, to me, I would like. There's arithmetically that takes a lot longer.
Making you do the math this weird way.
It will take a longer step way, than doing a shorter way. But it's like.
So that's a state by state choice, by the way, because in Massachusetts we don't use the core system. The colleges don't even the
college will never use the core system.
Yeah. But the high schools, the middle schools, they don't use core here. It's still taught the same way it always has been taught.
Yeah. Let's see. We'll take questions here. Read that book. Was banned in my school. So Steve said it was banned on his school in UK. There a lot of censorship in the US, unfortunately. That's what Ching says.
To SAT gaming, yeah, I mean.
Hey, down Phoenix.
I mean the censorship. Yeah, school systems by themselves can still ban books, especially private schools.
Mm-hmm.
But in the United States, they don't ban the book. They just don't put it on the reading list. So a public school in the United States can't.
They just won't put it in the school itself. Right. You will have to buy it outside the school.
Yeah, a school in the United States can't actually ban a book.
They just say you're not allowed to read it in school, pretty much.
Yeah, absolutely, because an individual town school system can come up with their own reading list, and they can just leave off whatever book they want. So, and this happens in the South all the time. The South, if you go to the South where you guys are, and you look at the reading lists for the high schools, and you look at the reading lists.
I think in some schools they banned Harry Potter.
Yeah, Exactly. They take it. They don't put it on the list.
My school it was there, but not
you
here.
know what books I want to burn and ban for the rest of all time? Shakespeare books.
I mean, there's historic reasons why they make you read those.
It's history.
When I was in high school, they had us read the first Lord of the Ring book.
Lord of the Rings? I don't mind reading that.
Yeah, in junior.
I would rather read that
reading.
than Shakespeare.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, junior year reading. One of the books we had to read was Lord of the Rings. Anyway, let's get back on topic. Yes, we were talking about censorship, of course, but I mean, how bad? Here's my question for you guys: do you think that this law in Japan, like, are they going to harshly implement it? Like, they're talking about jail time for modding a console. Like, do you think that they're really going to do that? Like, you guys live there, so we know what the law is. How do they go about implementing this stuff? Are they going to really throw the book at everyone, or do you think they're just going to make an example of a couple people and then let it go?
This is pretty much what's going to happen.
People are going to follow the law. That's what's going to happen. They have very low crime there. I mean, it's like non-existing.
Yeah, you could even leave your door open and no one will steal your shit.
Well, let's be fair here. Japan has low blue collar crime. It doesn't have low white collar crime. It has low blue collar crime, and what that means is like murder, rape, theft, burglary, stuff like that. But when you're talking white collar crimes like stealing of intellectual property and stuff like this, Japan does still have the same amount that I think most other places have.
Well, they do have crime. I know they have. I know they're one of the biggest countries for sex trafficking.
Yeah, I've heard that.
The red light district. I've been there.
So
it's really bad.
So what do you think about the level of implementation that might actually come about from this? Like living there, knowing the culture, knowing how the law system works. I mean, are they going to throw the book at people, or are they going to be easy on people?
Most of the gamers there are
they just keep to themselves.
Teens, pretty much. Yeah. A lot of it's teens, because everybody works so much that they don't have time for games.
I told you, Japan works about 6 or 7 days a week, and they work 12 to 14 hours a day each.
They work more than 12 hours. They work about 14 to 16 hours a day.
A lot of them sleep underneath their desk or at work.
And yeah, I believe it. I believe it.
That's why the birth rate is so low.
Right, that's true. They have a negative birth rate right now. Mm-hmm. But still, what about these devices that
I know that
have been popular.
I know that for
like the action replay and the cyber save editor, they've always been very popular and really good sellers in Japan. Now they're forbidden. They're outlawed.
Well, I bet you this.
It's always the black market, and that's always going to exist, and people will find their way.
Not only that, because there's a store called Hard Off and Hobby Off. Not every store is going to follow the thing for it, because they got to justify, what year, when, and stuff. If they have stock of it, they're not going to throw it away. They're going to still sell the damn thing. Only places I know in Japan that has action replay and stuff, at least you order online, or you go to the Japanese thrift store. But other than that, people's gonna have it. The majority of the people that play it is young adult or teenagers, and they're not gonna throw $45,000 US dollar onto them, because you also gotta think about it too, because they have to work in society and pay taxes. They have very few amount of kids. It's gonna backfire on them in the end, no matter what they do about this intellectual property shit. It's basically company down there like Nintendo and Sony and stuff. They don't want you to screw around with their system and sell and make the modding stuff. So they want to make more money as possible. That's what business is make as much money as possible, humanly possible. Revenue stream and all that shit.
So you're basically saying that you believe that they're not going to be heavy-handed about this.
They can't, because there's, what?
How are you supposed to track thousands and thousands of people. It's impossible.
Yeah, I believe it's like 1.7.
I'm not disagreeing.
How many people there live in Japan? Japan is pretty small.
I think it's like 150 million.
Something like
150
that.
million. It's very small and is very compact and populated.
It's 126.8 million as of 2017, which I think is about the same as the UK.
What is the population for young adults? Percentage.
Yeah. I can go back. And look. Yeah, that population is higher than the UK. Yeah, I don't see that on this graph, so I don't know. I've read a lot of the articles about the fact
they
that
have more older people than they do have younger people nowadays.
Yeah, there's an aging population there, and they don't have enough people going into nursing fields and a lot of that. I've read a lot of those articles.
Yeah, a lot of the people that young adults marry American military soldiers, and they take them back to America.
For some reason, they don't want to mix with their own people. They want to go and be with another.
Yeah, but they want to work to death for the rest of their life.
They want to go.
Well, you know, and I haven't looked a ton into the population problem in Japan, but it kind of rectifies itself.
Also, it's like where would they're not it's basically till later they haven't been making any of the advanced replay and stuff so far that I've seen for any of the consoles.
Okay, so you're saying that there's no new versions of Action Replay
that I know of. Yeah, that I know of.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't seen anything either.
Yeah, so it's like it's not really a big problem because I think they stopped making it because I know Nintendo made a huge fit down here in the U.S. where they did that for the 3DS for the advanced replay, and Walmart doesn't carry them anymore like they used to, or GameStop doesn't carry them anymore.
But you can still get them.
You can still get them online. Yeah. It's just that they're not making them for newer consoles or newer hand. It was usually famous for more handheld devices than consoles. I remember Game Shark for the PS1 and the PS2 when you had Final Fantasy of unlimited everything.
So aside from stopping those from being produced, I mean, what do you think about the potential of someone just buying an NES Classic or an SNES Classic and just adding their own games to it, and they get arrested? I mean,
no, they're basically going to get it just for themselves and only for themselves, long as because the kids, people down there are smart. They literally keep to themselves, and it'll be very hard for other people to find out if they have this or not. They really are. They're not really social outside, but they're like literally they're in their own little realm, and they're in their house. This is their realm.
An antisocial culture, pretty much. They keep to themselves.
Yeah.
They don't really talk to others besides in the group. They're really, really shy.
Talk to you more about this.
They're extremely shy.
Right, I understand. But at the end of the day, like, still, my question is and how enforceable is this? And when it is enforced on someone,
it's not very important.
Like, are they actually going to charge someone $45,000 and put them into jail for up to 5 years? Yeah, I don't know. I hope that you're right when you say that it's just not something that's going to be heavily enforced. There's a cat walking on the table behind Lance's chair.
That was was it gray?
Kind of brownish, I think.
It's gray. We only have gray cats, really. That was
Tofu. Tofu's marching around. What did Lance head off to?
I have no idea.
I guess the next kind of topic is all of these articles that have come out in the last couple of days about people claiming Nintendo is getting out of the console market. Nintendo, yeah, it's not true. But a lot of getting out of console market. It's not true, but a lot Nintendo getting out console market. Yeah, it's a trending story right now.
Maybe they're mistaking it that maybe they're thinking that maybe they mistaken reading something. Maybe Nintendo is branching out to do other things but still continue gaming.
Absolutely, actually, that is, believe it or not, that is a spot on interpretation. Because when you look at what was said in the article that was released, it's Nintendo talking about other sources of revenue. It's they talk about mobile games and doing more mobile games.
I mean, if you look at Sony, Sony does movies, has TVs and stuff. Maybe Nintendo wants to do some of that.
They did, interesting enough, talking about movies, they did mention that they want to do like amusement parks. They want their characters to kind of branch out from just the video games.
You mean be like a Disneyland?
Exactly. That's what Nintendo was kind of alluding to. I think that would be
popular, but they would have to start out small and then branch out to other countries. If they want to make money, they're going to have to do it in other countries too, because Disneyland's all over the world. If they want to be as big as Disneyland, they're going to have to branch out to other countries like Disney has.
Oh, sure, absolutely. And I don't think Nintendo has any immediate plans for that, to open an amusement park, but it's something that they're looking at. They're looking at other things like that, other ways to branch the characters out.
They also got to think they're going to be competing with Disney, and that's going to be hard.
What's happening with Disney and Sony?
Disney and Nintendo. Nintendo's thinking of an amusement park.
Well, okay, so Lance, we started discussing over the last couple days, there's been a lot of YouTube articles and YouTube videos and articles that have gone up talking about that. In an interview, someone from Nintendo basically said that Nintendo was going to be getting out of consoles.
That's not gonna. Okay, the problem with it is, if they're going to.
But it was, and Ashley hit it right on the head when she said it's probably a misinterpretation of what was said, and she's right. It is a misinterpretation. So basically what Nintendo was saying is not that they're going to get out of consoles, is that they're going to invest more in mobile gaming, and they're trying to branch out to extend their characters like Mario and Link and Princess Peach.
I don't think they're going to.
But Nintendo's saying that they are going to. They're looking into doing other ways of branching out, such as an amusement park, and they didn't say they had any immediate plans to do an amusement park. They're just throwing ideas on the table. But I think part of the discussion is the fact that this whole thing was misinterpreted by a lot of people, and a lot of YouTubers having nothing better to do put up videos saying Nintendo confirmed getting out of the console market. And it's absolutely ridiculous, but it was just
they're just trying to branch out to make more money.
And because
all Nintendo's doing.
Because a lot of other companies.
I mean, Microsoft and Sony are big companies, and they do more than just gaming.
Yeah. I mean, again, absolutely, another great point. Look at the other gaming. Microsoft and Sony have so many different divisions that generate money for them, that do so many other things. Nintendo's just a game company, a very large game company for sure, but they have no other sources of income. When Sony and Microsoft look at all the things they do, and Nintendo's just looking for other things to do. That's all this article was about. But people just completely misinterpreted it. But it's a totally different topic, but I guess it shows you what some news outlets, video game journalists, and YouTubers will do to create stories when they don't have other stories. It's all clickbait.
It's because they don't know how to use their brain.
No, it's just clickbait. That's basically what it is.
Yeah. And anywhere you see posted, Nintendo is going to be getting out of the console, it is complete clickbait.
I'm using your arcade because I can barely walk around, Ashley. My mom just put
your
my cane over
right
there. Go back to your husband, please.
This is every day. Every
yeah.
day.
Every day.
Right.
Yeah. You know,
That's why I say I need a vacation.
I need a vacation too. Graham, we're coming over to your place.
I have an extra bedroom, I guess, if you want to drive 800 miles.
No, I'm not driving. I'm flying.
I mean, yeah, I'd fly. I'd fly too. Actually, take the train. Take the train.
I'm not dealing with a 12-hour train ride. I'm flying. I'll be there in an hour.
No, it's yeah, probably like 2 hours, but yeah.
I'll be there in 2 hours. Yeah.
Sounds good.
We'll probably do that. This probably beginning of next year. After we get all our stuff from Redding, California.
Well, hopefully that happens sooner than later. But yeah, anyway, I did. That was the whole deal with the Nintendo clickbait articles. I mean, Ashley hit everything on the head. I mean, exactly. You know, Microsoft and Sony do so much stuff, and Nintendo's just looking for other ways to kind of branch out.
Mm-hmm.
But this
they're heading out, branching out late in the game. That's the thing.
Well, they have a new. They have a new.
They have the money to do it.
They have the money, but the problem is that Nintendo finally got out of a bind with the Switch because the Wii U was poorly commercialized in every single way, and they're slowly porting all the Wii U games to the Switch. So that's a good thing. It's just that
are they gonna port Fatal Frame to the Switch?
The problem with Nintendo is there's a lot of people just there, like a lot older, like have different mindset. And it's like, you know, people will just buy your game just for the IP, and they know that that's not true. Just because you need more than just not just
you
just
need
your IP.
to commercialize your games.
Yeah, and not only that is I need their own IP and a third party IP as well. You know, because it's like you're competing against two other ones. I don't think Nintendo.
And by a comparison, by the way, I just looked up relative values of the value of the companies. Nintendo's worth about $40 billion. Disney's worth $98 billion, and Sony's only worth $38 billion.
Mm-hmm.
I find that interesting.
Well, Sony is actually.
Well, we always knew that Disney's worth a lot of money.
Yeah, because
Disney's into video games too. They have Kingdom Hearts that they own.
No, they don't. They own half of it. Square Enix own the other half. Like Disney can't not own any of the Final Fantasy characters that they put on Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, but they own all the Disney characters on there and all the Disney worlds. They had to ask Disney first before they made that game.
Nintendo made some Disney games as well. You know, that's worth a lot of money right now for the Nintendo.
And by the way, Netflix is worth more than Disney. I find that interesting.
That's hilarious.
Netflix is worth over $100 billion. They are a larger company than Disney.
Yeah. Well, Disney's making their own streaming servers. I think it's going to fail.
Absolutely. I agree. How many streaming
services? They're
going
to ask too much money for it. That's what they're going to do.
Not only that, it's just like, what do they have to stream? How much movies do they have to actually stream compared to Netflix?
All the Disney. Right. Netflix has, you know, contracts and agreements with a lot of different companies. You know, if Disney's just going to stream their own stuff, how much of it will there be? Yeah, but keep in mind, there's already streaming services out there that already only stream their own stuff. Like CBS has their streaming service.
CBS owned by Disney, I believe.
Is it?
Yeah.
You could be right, but
are you sure it's not NBC that's owned by Disney?
No, NBC is owned by Comcast.
One of them's owned by.
Yeah, NBC is a division of Comcast. Have you ever seen the Comcast symbol? It has the NBC little feathers in it.
I don't know. I don't have
Comcast
cable.
Comcast, NBC, Universal. Comcast owns Comcast, NBC, Universal. They're one company.
I have the CW app, so I can watch my shows on there.
Yeah, but usually those stuff is like free, or you pay $3 to $4 just to, you know. But
I have to watch commercials. Stuff. But if I want to deal with no commercials, I'll pay. But I could care less.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. It's just that, you know, I believe that cable TV is gonna die, just like the landline, the fax machine. It's just that you just stream it. It's cheaper than getting cable in your own house. Cable is like what you want certain channels, everything else, so it costs you roughly around $90.
But the funny thing is, a lot of people have cable. So it's not gonna die out anytime soon.
Well,
Comcast and Verizon are moving towards a different model for cable. One, they're offering streaming services instead of having boxes.
Yeah.
And two, they're going to be offering by channel packages.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you can get Showtime and HBO without cable. You can just pay Showtime and HBO.
Yeah.
And just get their apps, and then you don't need cable television at all. I mean, I don't have cable television. I just have internet. I have Netflix. I have Hulu, and Shudder, and I have Lance's Crunchyroll.
Oh, you enjoy that?
Well, yeah. I mean, I like anime, so.
Yeah, I know, but you don't have to deal with I pay I think $10 a month for it. You don't have to deal with no.
Is that all Crunchyroll costs?
Yeah, $10 a month. You don't have to deal with no ads and everything else.
I mean, I think it's a good service. Probably the best anime service on the planet, right? I don't think there's any others.
Yeah, we're not sponsored by Crunchyroll. I like your headset, Ashley. It's the same headset I'm wearing. It's just hers is white and mine's black. It's actually a pretty good headset. Actually, I'm thinking about getting you a pair, Graham. It's like $14. You'll like it.
Better than the ones I'm wearing.
Yeah, way
These
better
are like
than the ones
$60.
you're wearing. Huh?
These are like $60.
This was actually like a good swan quality. I had this for almost 2 years now. Never breaks or anything else like that. It's comfortable in the ear. It has extra padding. Plus, it has the mic has a built-in like what you call it, like blocking external sound that's coming out.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I guess I try whatever earphones.
Well, it's $14. I can send you one. It's not a problem. Let's see here. Don Phoenix says Amazon Prime is really beefing up. That is true. You should cam out your
check out their selection. But the thing is,
on their like Fist of the North. I can't get any. I can't get Fist of the North. I just couldn't get those style of anime.
See, the thing is with the Amazon Prime, they only stream the anime that's released, and in America itself, they don't have the brand new anime.
Well, a lot of the Amazon Prime that I want to watch, you gotta pay for it. It's like Amazon Prime have a lot of free streaming services, but a lot of times they also have a lot of stuff that you can buy. Because I buy my seasons of Big Bang Theory on Amazon Prime. And the problem with streaming services and buying stuff is that once you buy, like, let's say I buy let's say season 12 of Big Bang Theory, it's not done yet. We're still waiting on the next episode. If you die, you can never give that actual digital content to anyone else. Just like the iTunes. Like if you die, you cannot give your music to someone that you can.
It's deleted.
It's deleted. It's like in compared to having a physical one, you can literally just give that to someone. It's a physical copy. But I think the digital law should change that. If you die and you have all this in your library, you should be able to give it to someone.
Well, hey, that goes back to the first thing we kind of talked about when we started tonight, right?
Yeah.
When I was saying that if Japan is going to give, those type of protections to hardware manufacturers and software manufacturers, software developers, I should say, then we need a give and take. There needs to be more consumer protection on digital media. And right now, there's none. There's no consumer protection of digital media.
It's going to take a while because you have a lot of, especially people in America. I'm happy that we have a lot of young people in the House and very few young people in Congress. We have too many people that's like way up there in age that don't know how newer technology works or how it worked, and it's been around for 20 years. It's just that streaming services hasn't came out till what Like officially, like everyone using it till like what 7 years ago.
I don't know. I'm not sure. Netflix would have been one of the first, right?
Yeah, Netflix was the first.
One of the first.
Yeah, it was Netflix, then it followed by Hulu.
Because Netflix didn't really do streaming till later on. Netflix first was DVD in the mail.
DVD service.
Yeah. Then
Netflix started in 97.
GameFly and stuff.
Does GameFly still exist?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yep. I think it's a crappy service.
Yeah, I've never used it. I know you can rent games from Redbox, right?
Yeah, we have Redbox around the corner, but the problem with this Redbox is that they don't have the games that I want to damn play.
That sucks. They usually just have like the best-selling games.
Yeah.
Like games that are at like the highest numbers.
Yeah, the problem with Redbox is like $1 a day. Buy the damn game then. Then most of the games I play is RPG.
Well, there you go. So I hear what you're saying about. Well, a lot of times, by the way, Redbox doesn't have RPGs.
Yeah.
They'll have like Tomb Raider or something like that.
Well, still, it takes more than a day to beat because it's like, you know, like say Resident Evil 2, I bet it's going to take me about a week. So that's $7.
True.
And
I could just wait. You're going to rent it? You canceled it, now you're going to rent it?
Yeah. No, I'm not renting it. I'm waiting till Resident Evil in 3 to 4 months probably drop down to $20. Once people beat it, and the people are going to start turning them into GameStop for other games and stuff, or you know, and they'll have a whole pile of it, and it's going to drop. You know, like the first Resident Evil remake, dropped down price in a couple months. A lot of these newer games now, within a month, they're like, they just drop down in value very quickly. Nintendo will be totally different. Nintendo freaking thing stays on forever, for all of time. But
Down Phoenix says $3 a day, actually.
Yeah, I'd rather just buy the damn game than go to Redbox.
That's expensive.
That's expensive. I just wait 3-4 months and just buy the damn game. Play anytime I want.
I mean, Nintendo does take a lot of criticism over the fact that their games take a long time to go down in price. But think about it. It goes back to kind of like the argument that Ashley put forth, which was that Sony and Microsoft do a lot of other stuff, where Nintendo, that's it. That's their bread and butter. Those games are how they make their money.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, they're going to be a lot more hesitant about, reducing the price for the game. They know that it can continue to sell. It's like Mario Kart, for example, right? Mario Kart, they know it will just keep selling. There's no reason why they should drop it in price. Because they know that people will keep buying it.
The problem is that's a first party IP. A lot of the other IP that dropped down in price is a third party IP. If Nintendo Switch's third party ID drops down in price dramatically because they're competing against Xbox, PC, and PlayStation.
True, right. I think the criticism mostly refers to first party titles like Zelda, Mario Kart, so forth. So
those are one that stays in value for a long time. The other issue is that it's like a lot of the games now that we see after like Fallout 76 and Tomb Raider, the 3rd edition stuff, within the end of the month, they're all like half off and everything else. And both those games were freaking horrible. Even the newest Tomb Raider was a horrible game. Storyline was just too bad. It's just one of those things. It's just that it's just you start going to see these things in price because everyone has to resell these games for you.
By the way, the newest Tomb Raider is still $59.99. It hasn't actually dropped yet.
It dropped after the first month for half off all DLC when it first came out. Then I got pissed.
The current Tomb Raider, the one that just came out.
It just came out. It went down in price when I first bought it for $60. After a month later, they were on sale for like freaking $30-something all DLC.
So mine went on sale. I'm looking at Best Buy right now. It's $59.99.
Yeah, well, that's brand new and stuff. I didn't put the price back up. It's a horror. That's a It's not a good game. They didn't really do much to improve anything in that game. It's like there's a lot of games now. It's gonna just drop down in price very fast, very quickly, and like Dead or Alive drops down. Like a lot of fighting games drops down in price very quickly after the first week.
Rise of the Tomb Raider is $19.99.
Huh?
Rise of the Tomb Raider is $19.99 currently.
Yeah,
but
that's an older one.
Shadow of the Tomb Raider is still $59.99.
Yeah. So yeah, well, it was also before the holidays too. So it probably went back up after the holidays now.
I mean,
I don't buy games. I never buy games at Best Buy. It's just too damn. It's just I don't know about Best Buy. It's just buying games from Best Buy and buying brand new games from GameStop. I just buy it on but I just buy used games. Let people spend their money, and I just buy it for like 2/3 of the cost of the damn game.
Well, yeah, games are expensive. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's move on and talk about the next topic that I had on the docket, which was something that went up today, actually, on the
Sakura all the way. 3 days a day. Actually, I'm reading the thing. Okay.
Oh, we already looked at the chat.
I didn't. I'm not fully there. I'm like in and out right now. I'm taking the anti-psych meds. I'm taking instead of like 3 times. I'm taking 1 a day and see what the effects are.
So a video that went up today on the Dark Titan channel about
Overwatch.
About Overwatch.
I put a comment on that.
So what's so for those who don't know that are listening, there was a female player. I forget the name of the team. There was a female player. You go watch the video if you don't know anything about it. But there was a female player that someone basically said, "Oh, I don't think that person's actually female. And I don't think that they are who they say they are." And a lot of people came out and started defending this player, and then she disappeared. And then it turns out that it wasn't actually a female. Post is saying Shadow of the Tomb Raider was made to show off RTX graphics cards. So those are the new NVIDIA graphics cards,
mm-hmm.
The RTX cards. Those are the new ones that use ray tracing,
mm-hmm.
which nothing really utilizes ray tracing yet. So I don't see a point to buying RTX cards.
The performance of the game
the current patches made the cards perform bad, and they are still trying to fix it and move to improve performance. Well, there you go. I mean, statement said, right? So you spend all this money on an RTX graphics card, and
the graphics,
the games aren't even working that well with it.
Yeah, the graphics the same as the second Tomb Raider. The problem is the storytelling was really bad. It was just the storytelling of the game was really bad.
They tried to add ray tracing to Tomb Raider at the request of NVIDIA to showcase the RTX, because that's kind of the new technology, which is ray tracing, and it just it didn't work that well.
The graph. You're talking about the graph. I'm talking about the storyline. Story-wise, it sucked.
Oh yeah, I don't know the story to it. Yeah,
the story of it was bad. It looks like they just ran out of stuff to talk about, and it's supposed to be the trilogy of the same thing about her chasing her father's, enemy and stuff like that. It's basically what the whole 3 of the series of the games are. It's just that the graphic is the same as the second one, and pretty much the controller feels like feels like a tank controller when you're aiming a gun. But then it's an okay game. It's not worth $60 in my point of view.
No, I agree. But again, Lance, the other thing I was trying to point out is so the graphics were not supposed to be the same.
Yeah.
They added ray tracing to Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
But
because I made it to show your face.
There's just a ton of bugs.
Yeah.
There's a ton of bugs performance-wise when it comes to the RTX cards, which Post is pointing out. Anyway, back to what we were talking about. What do you think? Now that we know that Overwatch player was not a female, how do you think it makes the people look that came out and kind of, I'm going to use the term white knighted the fake player? Actually, as a female gamer, as someone who plays Overwatch, I mean, how does it make you feel?
It gives us gamer girls a bad name.
Well, does it really though? Because it wasn't a gamer girl.
I mean, what they're
it
trying.
wasn't an actual girl.
People need to hide their identity too.
Everybody look bad though.
Right. It made the team look bad because they didn't vet the player. They just had a player apply and say, "Hey, I'm a really good player." The player seemed like they were a really good player, but they didn't vet them.
And now people are not going to trust people to play with them. That's what they did. They're going to make it all go downhill.
So the excuse that they used, and what do you think about this excuse? The excuse that they used was that it was a social experiment.
Aren't you supposed to get permission for that kind of thing?
No, you don't.
Yeah, absolutely, Lance. You have to. You have to look at the social.
If it's a tournament, you have to.
Look at the protocol for social experiments, and that's a good point. So even if you had everyone's permission,
if it's out in a public place, you don't have to. But if it's in like a tournament and that's like private, you would have to.
Right. You can't run an experiment without the people that are participating in the experiment know that they're in an experiment.
Or at least the head of the tournament needs to know. It doesn't have to be the participants. It has to be the head, the people who are running the tournament.
It's an actual tournament thing? I haven't watched the video yet, to tell you the truth.
Wasn't it a tournament?
So it was, I think, there were some tournaments that the player played in. It was nothing like at the pro level, but there were some tournaments. And
if it's a tournament, that means it's private, and that means they would have to have the head of the tournament know.
Yeah. Which was basically, it was Blizzard. Blizzard was running all the events that the supposed player played in. So, and it was Blizzard.
And if Blizzard didn't know, that means it wasn't sanctioned.
Well, I don't think Blizzard would ever even allow a social experiment in one of their tournaments.
No, they wouldn't.
I mean, it's just as many girls as it is guys in these tournaments.
So, Poe said it was in the Overwatch League, right? So it was a Blizzard-run event. But like I said, Blizzard said that the player was not in any high-level ranked matches. It was just in League. So at least it didn't get that far. But I think, there's a couple things at work here with this, right? One, I think they're probably using the idea that it was a social experiment as an excuse. Yeah. I think it's a lie. I don't think they were trying to run any experiment.
I think they just wanted a pretty face to be the showcase.
Sure. Although I will point out that the team itself is also saying that they didn't know it wasn't a real female. So I think that's bad in other ways, which basically means that they didn't vet the players when they picked them up. They just saw, oh, it's a girl that plays Overwatch. Damn, let's get her on the team. Instead of actually trying to vet the player and figure out who she really is. They did a terrible job at that, apparently. So I wonder how good their vetting process is in general. They probably vet males a lot harsher than they did her.
For me, it's just I can.
If Post says League is the thing before Global, and whoever the top two teams wins Global play at BlizzCon.
Right, and this is the beginning of the league, though, because BlizzCon's not for a long time. BlizzCon's always at the end of the year, so
yeah, these are people that their rankings are like in the thousands.
Yeah,
right.
I'm only 51.
Interesting enough, it was actually another female player that exposed this ruse, this marketing ploy that they were doing. It was another.
But you can tell the difference between someone playing and someone who's not. It's all about the facial expression.
Yeah, I'm not sure how she figured it out. I don't know.
It probably was the facial
known.
expression.
So I don't think that they ever saw this person on camera. I think it was a picture. I'm not sure those details of it, but it's just like a terrible situation for pro gaming, and it's a terrible situation for that team.
Teams and these team kind of league things, it's all about communication in the team, so you would have to talk to one another. And what I heard is that she wasn't talking at all, and that's probably what gave it away.
You don't really talk much when you play games.
But I'm not in League. I'm not League either.
Yeah.
In League, you would have to talk to one another.
Mm-hmm.
I saw the statement from the team, head of the team, talking about how they didn't know, and they were kind of like sorry for the whole thing, but this is coming from the same people I should say the same person that basically originally the other players said it might be another person or a BF playing for her. Yes, that is true. They originally thought that she was an actual person that was at the tournament, or I'm sorry, playing for the team, but she had someone else playing for them, and then it just turned out that this person never actually existed. Ellie was supposedly the person's name, so that person Ellie was someone that didn't actually exist. But it's pretty pathetic. You're right. So, do you believe that the team didn't know? Do you think that the team didn't know that it was a female Ashley, or do you think that they did know? Because their statement says they didn't know.
It can be both ways too. It's like
some of the team members could have known, some of them couldn't.
You also gotta remember, you're in the internet age nowadays, that you can actually be who you want to be and whatever you want to be.
But not in a tournament like that. You can't fake your identity in those tournaments.
You
can't. It's against the rules.
Dude, I can go to StarCraft tournament and say I'm a female. Identify myself as a female.
Right. All right. You're talking about a transgender issue, but that was not the case with this. This was not a transgender
because they didn't think, they said it was a social experiment, but it wasn't. It was just another way of trying to get flaming gory and stuff like that. If they use their brain a little bit, I just say I identify myself as a female. But a lot of times I might get flack from them, but it's like, I don't care. It's like, it doesn't really affect me. It's mostly on them. They don't want to make the stupid decisions of doing it on a tournament scale. If this is regular arcade and stuff, fine, why not? Just to see a pretty face, and we don't care whoever plays and stuff like that. A lot of times people that do live stream, Twitch and stuff, there are females. Majority are females. Sometimes a lot of them are males, or whatever gender you want to pick. Is basically they don't look at the gameplay. They just basically want to see the girls showing their tatas and other things as well. Like most of my gameplays, when I live stream on Persona 4, I take the video off because I don't want to. People have a hard on watching me play. Just watch the gameplay. I'll talk to you through the mic. It's like one of those 1-800 number at after midnight specials. Like, oh, please call this hotline. Lance will talk to you. Oh no, so nice for you too.
Right, I hear you. I hear you, Lance. I think though, for a lot of people who watch streams, it is actually seeing that person. So a lot of people do want to see that person, and then for a lot of other people, it is about seeing the gameplay. So, true, yeah. I mean, there's both types of people out there, definitely. But this just looks bad. I mean, this player, I think the player's tag was Punisher, was his tag, and I don't know what was his aim.
Punisher, that sounds familiar. I was playing with a person named Punisher a couple days ago.
It said he was a top 500 ranked player.
Did you kill him?
Yeah, did you get him?
Did you beat him?
I did.
Did you diva ball him?
He was playing as Reaper, and I was Diva, and I killed him a bunch of times. But he was a 5-star.
So yeah, so he was a higher ranked player. Nice.
I kill a bunch of higher ranked players. They don't like me very much.
They should
Now,
put you on the team and make me money. Make me money, woman.
That's awful, Lance. That is awful. You know, how do you feel about? How do you feel, Ashley? How do you feel about? But before everyone knew that Ellie was fake, and the owner of the team and a lot of other people came out and were like vigorously defending her because it was a her, or they thought it was a her.
I want to be treated equal. Most teams I end up on, I'm treated equal. All I care about is if the healer's nearby.
I mean, it seems like they were defending the supposed her a lot.
I don't like that. I don't like the whole white knighting. I believe the teams should play as a team and not treat one special.
I mean, I totally agree. I think it does a disservice to women in gaming if you give them special treatment or preferential treatment. Let someone stand on their own. I don't want to be treated no different. All I care about is if the healer's nearby. Exactly. Let someone stand on their own. If someone is accused of cheating, if a female is accused of cheating, let her stand up for herself. She doesn't need other people to help her. She can either. If you're white knighting, it just makes it seem like your female team member's weak. Yeah. And people are gonna be like, oh, so you have a weak team member. This is gonna be easy to take down your team.
Actually, is good at Overwatch. I only got to see her play once though. There's a lot of gameplay over. If you go to the Overwatch playlist, or Ashley gameplay and stuff, you'll see her play a lot of Overwatch. You gotta keep nagging at her if you want her to play games. It's just that I tried nagging, and she haven't finished .hack GU. She hasn't finished Final Fantasy, what, 6? She hasn't finished a lot of freaking games that I bought for her. I told her I'm not buying any more games until she finished several of them altogether.
I've been playing a lot of Overwatch.
Well, it's all about time management, Lance, and what someone finds fun. So, you know, you gotta let her play what she finds fun, man. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I'm not buying any more new games because I have a lot of games out here that I bought for her, still in the wrapper itself, and it's collecting dust.
Oh, Lance. So listen to me here. This is the pot calling the kettle black, right, Ashley? Right?
Yeah.
He's complaining about you having too many games. The man who loves to go to GameStop
and buys too many games.
No, these okay. I'll bet you this: when we get Kingdom Hearts 3, and I know I will beat that game within 3 to 4 days. It's gonna take her about a year to beat.
It's not.
Hey man, not everyone.
I get to see Sora again. It's gonna be awesome.
Lance, not everyone has the stamina to literally stream for 12 hours like you did.
My eyes, if I play for more than 6 hours, I get a very bad headache. I can't play for more than 6 hours.
I've definitely sat down and played a game for 8 hours, but not even continuously. I mean, I take breaks and stuff like that. But literally, Lance, you 12-hour streamed Persona 4 yesterday. That's crazy.
I can't do that. I would have a horrible headache. My eyes would hurt.
The funny thing is that's not the longest stream I ever done in this channel before.
I know, it's 16 hours, right?
No, longer than that.
24. He did 24.
24 hours. Yikes.
I called him an idiot.
Reason why is that at night, if I can't go back to sleep, if I bought her Ashley, she'll rip my head off. If I bought her my mom, she'll rip my head off. The cats run away from me. So I'm bored. I don't really watch TV or shows as much. I watch a little bit at a time. Then I usually I gotta keep myself occupied. So instead
They're taking Sora out?
I didn't hear that either.
Kingdom Hearts is going to be weird without Sora after 3. Huh?
Sora's going to be there.
Well, we'll have to see what the story of 3 is, right? I don't even know.
No one knows the story.
Yeah, well, they had people. Well, yeah, no one knows it. I know that we're live streaming it once we're getting it. Other than that, is it's basically it's just basically it's like I have nothing to do like middle of the night in the morning, so basically I just stream the damn thing.
I'm
like,
sure Kingdom Hearts 3 is going to be really good, but I am definitely
I
interested in Resident Evil 2 for the most part. That's what I'm looking forward to.
I don't think it's worth $60 though.
We'll see. I mean, it's a brand new game, right? It's not a remaster. It's a remake, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
it's like the first one, the first remake that I had. I bought it when it was on sale for like $10.
Are you talking about the director's cut remake for the GameCube?
The remake for the
Resident
PS4.
Evil. Oh, okay. That was actually the GameCube remake. Just so you know,
Yeah.
that was remade. That was remade years and years ago.
No, this one has a more finer texture, a better graphics than the GameCube. They just upped the graphics and everything else for it. It's just that because the game's not going to be that long. I can tell you that you could probably beat it within less than a day.
You think so? I'm thinking it's going to be like a 40-hour game. Well, Ashley, how long were Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2?
You had to put more than 40 hours in
I beat it in 2 days.
It was like to get everything, it would be 50 plus hours. So I'm pretty sure Kingdom Hearts 3 is gonna be like maybe an 80-hour game.
I bet you I can beat it in 2 days.
Longer.
Huh?
Yeah, that's because you're gonna go through and not get everything. I like to get some stuff.
Lance, you can't beat an 80-hour game in 2 days. 2 days only 48 hours.
The first one you go through fast, so you know what the layout of the game is. So you play it the second time to get everything.
Lance is gonna speedrun Kingdom Hearts 3. Do it.
But the problem with Persona New Plus is that it takes longer the first time. The second time to get everything, it's a hell of a lot quicker. Do you know why? You skip through all the damn text because you already know all the shits that happened on the first one, anyways. So my New Plus game is like it's like I'm almost towards the end. It's like 20 hours to put into it.
But I think Ashley is referring to the fact that just to get through the game once, first time playthrough is going to be 80 hours.
I think it's going to be 60 hours.
60 hours.
Yeah, 80 hours is 80 hours is to get everything.
Yeah, 80 hours is to get everything. 60 hours just to go through.
And I can tell you, there's
because there's gonna be a whole bunch of grinding.
Yeah, but every RPG games, the majority of time, let's say 20 to 30 hours of you playing the game is you just grinding.
Hours. It's 30 hours is grinding.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Just keep grinding and leveling up. That's basically what it is. Let's see here what post says. Kingdom Hearts gonna see here. Nora said will be last game with Sora as main character. Kingdom Hearts 3 40-hour story, not including mini games, side story, Easter egg. I think this is gonna be the last Kingdom Hearts game. I'll tell you the truth.
If they're not putting Sora in it, no one's gonna want it.
Well, they had the other one with,
but they were side stories.
Yeah,
they were side. Everybody knew they were side. If they were gonna do a Kingdom Hearts 4 and it's not Sora, no one's gonna want it.
I think they should end it by 3. I think that'd be a good thing to end. Usually, a lot of games end by a trilogy. But a lot of times, I think Kingdom Hearts is gonna be the last Kingdom Hearts game. I bet if they make a 4th one, it's gonna fail. It's not just because of the main character of it. It's just that we already know the majority of the story, the background, the depth of the history, and what the Heartless are, and all that shit already now.
You learned what the Heartless were in the first game.
Yeah, I know. Nobody, and then you got the side story that gives more and more depth and explanation for it. It's like, what more new stuff can you get on 4th?
You underestimate game developers and movie companies.
Well, yeah, that's why they make a shitload of them and they go down.
Yeah, they will continue any franchise that they think is safe, and any franchise that they think will continue to make them money instead of actually making
when the 4th one plummets, they're not going to make it.
They're probably still going to make it because Disney's going to give them the money to make the damn game. But I know Square Enix is just that they'll say no to their faces when they say this is it. I mean, Kingdom Hearts 3, after there'll be like probably a few side quests after the side game afterwards of 3. That's it. I think the trilogy is because usually Square Enix stop by trilogy most of the time. Final Fantasy does not count because every Final Fantasy game is a different story.
But look at Lightning. It was 3.
Lightning was the third one. But and by the way, out of Final Fantasy 13, that the Return of Lightning was my favorite one. I didn't really like the other two. I thought they were boring.
I played a bit of the. I didn't like 13. I didn't like 13.
I liked the first one. The second one was really bad.
I thought 13 1 and 2 were terrible. 13 3 I liked because its battle system was similar to 10 2, except instead of it being silly dresses, she actually got armor, which I thought was really cool. I thought the combat system in 13 3 was good.
I have the collector edition box somewhere here.
The 13 3?
The 13 Lightning Return Lightning collectors.
Yeah.
It comes with a pocket watch.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of criticism even against that game, and I accept that. I enjoyed it. I know that there's a lot of people that don't like that, but
they make a random spin-off of Kingdom Hearts like every other year. Yeah, but problem is that's just side story. You know, we're talking about the main story about that, Devin.
And I just want to throw this little thing in there about Square Enix. I'm really pissed off at you, Square Enix. High Score Girl didn't have an ending. What the hell? I watched High Score Girl like in one sitting, all 12 episodes. It wasn't an ending. It was a cliffhanger. And I go online to see if there's going to be a season 2 or something. And there's talk about making an episodes 13, 14, and 15, but nothing else. And who knows when we're even going to get episodes 13, 14, and 15. And they literally, the 12th episode didn't have an ending. It was a cliffhanger. There was no story resolution. Nothing.
Great. I'm going to start calling you a Carl.
Why?
Because you're becoming like a Carl now.
Because I'm angry that they didn't put an ending to the anime?
No, you just want to see girls with huge tits going around wearing different game costumes. I haven't watched it, so I'm guessing. I haven't watched the damn thing yet. I didn't have a chance to watch any newer animes and stuff because what I was doing for the past week.
They're coming out. They're remaking Fruits Basket.
Wait, they're actually remaking it? Like not?
Yes, it's coming out this year.
They're going by the manga this time.
They're going exactly by the manga this time, and I have all the manga.
Let's see. Post says there will be more games because even if Xehanort is defeated, there will still be heartless nobodies, and there's still darkness increasing in the world and never. Yeah, but also is that you gotta create a new OP, a boss like Xehanort, stuff like that. But it's one of those things.
And you have to create a new main character.
Yeah, a new story, new background, what age and stuff like that. I know Square Enix can do it, but also you gotta think about what previous games they milk to death and they still make games for it, and they just finally say we can't make money off of it anymore.
Hopefully there's no more Final Fantasy.
All side story exists to increase the plot in the main story. 13 doesn't start becoming a Final Fantasy until 20 hours in.
This is what I think is going to happen. I think Kingdom Hearts 3 is going to sell really well. I think it's going to get really high ratings, and I think Square Enix is going to continue to milk that series to death. I think they're going to continue to put out side story games. They're going to continue to do that, maybe as DLC games, maybe as DLC for Kingdom Hearts 3, something along those lines. But I think they're just going to keep pushing it and pushing it. I think there's going to be a Kingdom Hearts 4 and 5 and 6. I just think they're going to go on and on. And if they have to change characters, they will.
We will probably.
I don't know any of that for sure, but we'll see.
We'll be probably dead when Kingdom Hearts 5 comes out.
No, we'll be dead when Elder Scrolls 6 comes out. Let's do a Bethesda event, show a mountain, and get everyone excited.
Well, of course, they haven't said we didn't start it yet, but it's still in the process.
But we have some mountains, guys. We have some mountains.
Yeah.
So, that's really all the video game topics that I had for this week. I didn't know if there was anything else that you had wanted to talk about, Lance.
Well, these are the games I canceled this month. Is
you canceled
Super Mario, right? Super Mario for the Wii U and Luigi U for the Switch. I had to cancel because I didn't have the money for it. Dead or Alive 6 I canceled because I know that within a month they could drop down in price like hotcakes. Resident Evil 2 I know it's gonna drop down in price. What else? I know there was 2 other games I canceled, but these are 2 games that we're getting this month due to the money problems we have. I'm gonna do the same thing for the rest of the year until we finish paying off a lot of our debts off. The games that we're gonna get is Kingdom Hearts 3, and it's on Amazon. We'll get the Keyblade exclusive from Amazon.
Yeah, Keyblade.
The digital Keyblade. I don't want to give 2 shits about. And Sonic Kagura Rebust. Reason why I'm getting that is I have the original. This is supposed to be the second one, just from PS3 to PS4. I want to see if they actually censor the shit out of this game. If Sony actually really did what was this, because it's not supposed to, it's supposed to show like a little bit of stuff, sort of like little stickers here and there and a little bit fog. But if they really did, then I'm not buying any more those type of games on PS4.
I mean, I said it last time. I for years only bought PS4 Pro games, and now I've gone to buying, if it's available, I've gone to buying it on the Xbox One because Sony's not. I'm sorry, Microsoft is not doing the same thing Sony is with censorship.
Well, the problem is a lot of the games that are on Sony on PlayStation is now on Xbox.
Right. So I'm hoping that those games go to Nintendo as well now.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah.
So if they're not willing to go to the Microsoft's platform, then maybe they'd be willing to go to Nintendo's platform.
Now we got one more gaming thing before we go to the next subject. Persona 5R fighting game. Rumble.
It is a fighting game. I said that. Yeah, I said that.
It's a Rumble, yeah, because they already did their arena on 4, so 5 is gonna be Persona 5 Rumble.
So you want to get your butt kicked again?
Oh yeah, you kicked my ass on 4 arena.
Yes, I did.
That was a long time ago.
You were crying.
Oh, poor Lance.
Oh, you were crying when I kicked your ass in Street Fighter, Super Smash.
And don't
forget to mention. He gave up and said, "I'm never playing you in this game ever again." Yep. That's what he said about the Persona game.
Yep.
Wow. And don't forget to mention that the Persona 5R game is not coming out for the Switch. It is a PS4 game. It looks to be a PS4 exclusive, even though before the trailer, people were saying that it was going to be a Switch game.
I think it's going to be a timed exclusive.
A timed exclusive? Okay, could be. We know so little.
Because it's like a lot of these people have like 1 or 2 time exclusives just to have that little bit of a push to make a little bit extra revenue. But I think it's a waste of time. Because people like me will wait for that console instead.
Let's look at the chat for a bit. Tales of Vesperia is coming out on Switch, and if it does well, they'll make a sequel. Sure. I like Tales of Vesperia.
That's one of the game I canceled too on Amazon. Tales of Vesperia for the PS4.
They were waiting for it to go down in price.
Yeah, because
Tales of Vesperia was a great game. It was one of the better Tales games.
We have it on the PS3, right?
No, we have it.
Game.
Xbox 360. We have it on Xbox 360.
It was a 360 exclusive, actually.
Yeah, we have that. We have it on Xbox 360. So, I need a furniture.
I don't like live streaming the Tales of games because when I was live streaming Tales of Vesperia, people kept complaining like, "Why are you still playing this game? This game is taking too long."
Oh, the same crap, the same stuff that just happened to Lance.
Yeah. Yep. It's like I've been playing Persona 4.
Because it took like 50. It took me 50 to 60 hours to beat it.
Yeah. By the way, I think that was a great game. By the way.
Yeah.
Weren't you watching it?
I watched some of your playthrough of it, but I played it when it came out. I had played through it, and I thought
it
that was a great
such
game.
a sad ending.
Yeah,
Them
it was.
two hugging each other and them feeding off each other for eternity.
Yeah.
That's so sad. I cried a little.
I feed off of you eternally.
This is different. This is a brother and sister.
You feed off of my life soul for all eternity. Look at me, I'm aging, I'm wrinkling, my hair's turning gray.
And look at me, I'm staying young forever.
Yes, give back my life force, woman.
No. It's not happening.
Don't worry, Grim. I'll suck your
soul. This is a conversation I can't get into. I'm gonna keep my life force. How about that? I'm gonna keep it. Because I've already used up a ton more of it than you guys have. So mine's getting pretty limited.
Don't worry. We can play the highest score with your blood sugar level.
Wow. Let's keep my health problems off the table.
We were talking about this last night on live stream too. It's like, yeah, sure, why not? I think the highest score I got 400. I think it'd beat that.
Yeah, hell, yeah, why not? I'll go with 400 blood sugar. Sure. Lance asking me, what's the highest blood sugar you can have so that your blood turns into syrup and I can pour it for toppings? Like, oh my god. 800 to 1,000.
Coffee just opened your hutch forcefully.
I see that. I gotta fix it. Hold on.
I'm seeing on the screen.
Coffee! Go, coffee.
You gotta love when discussions are interrupted by cats.
Oh yeah.
That is the best.
I just
Post has posted. Fans have petitioned for years for a sequel for Vesperia and Abyss. So they made the definitive edition to see if people were really interested. Yeah, we'll see how many copies Vesperia sells.
Probably a lot, especially on the Switch. Especially on the Switch and on the way to Go and stuff like that. Probably a lot. The funny thing is that if you put a third party in on the Switch, it'll sell a lot. Don't buy Roller Coaster Tycoon on the Switch.
Oh, that was
get
awful.
on the computer.
I watched Lance stream that game. Awful.
Yeah, it just can't. It's just very poor. It was a rush job, but I know Witcher. We heard that Witcher 3 is coming to the Switch.
Yep, and we heard that Dragon Quest 11 is coming to the Switch.
Mm-hmm. I don't know how Witcher is going to be going to the Switch because it takes a lot of space.
I think that the cartridge size isn't the problem. I think there's a graphical problem, right?
Yeah.
So it's like
isn't that a high graphical game?
Well, look for example at the new Ys game, right? The Switch version of it definitely has some graphical glitches compared to the other versions, and I think you're going to see that in both Dragon Quest and both The Witcher 3 when they get ported over. I think that there's going to be graphical glitches. You got to remember how they got Doom and Wolfenstein to work on the system is that dynamic scaling system that they created, which actually makes it so the game goes all the way down to 480p at certain points, so that the system doesn't freeze. So I don't know. We'll see how the games work on the system.
I'm gonna wait for a review. I got Doom on the Switch. It worked really well. Wolfenstein, there was a lot of glitches in it. Wolfenstein 2 has a lot of glitches on the Switch. But the Doom, it had no problem.
Cool, yeah. I didn't play either of them on the Switch. I had them both on my PS4, but everyone says that they work relatively well. So, that dynamic scaling system did work. What do you think about Ashley? What do you think about? I was thinking about this the other day. What do you think about them doing like another remake of Tales of Symphonia?
Tales of Symphonia. Wasn't that on
Tales of Symphonia?
PlayStation 3?
The one, I believe.
It was on GameCube.
GameCube.
But wasn't it ported over to the PlayStation 3?
Yep, and then it was redone for the PS3. Yep. So GameCube and then PS3.
They're gonna port it over for the PS4 now?
No, I haven't heard anything. I just didn't know if you felt that if they did that, the game would do any good, or if there would be interest.
I haven't played it yet, so I don't know what the story.
The story is also really good. I love the story in Tales of Symphonia. I won't give any spoilers out. But
give me 2 days. I'll stream it and beat it.
Yeah, with your streaming schedule, I believe it. The thing is it's still kind of like a happy-go-lucky tale story. It's a really good one and really well written, but it still doesn't have that kind of like dark aspect that Vesperia had, and I loved that kind of dark aspect.
I wanted to cosplay the main character in Vesperia. I want to cosplay her.
You mean a girl with no clothes?
She has a wicked arm.
Yeah.
Her arm is wicked.
Right. She does.
But she barely wears anything. That's what I like about that girl.
She would kick your butt.
At least I'll be able to grab something before she can kick my butt.
She'll just eat you.
You have no chance, Lance. You'd go right down. You'd go right down.
I'll be like, help this fine old man down. Oops, fall down. Look underneath the skirt. Oh, and then, what a cute tattoo you're wearing.
And then she'll eat you.
You know what? You know what, Lance? You'd go up against the Witchblade and wouldn't last a second.
I just need to do it. I just stare at her. I'll just go stare at her and says, "Here, catch." And it sounds like I'm happy. I'll be going on my way now. I got my mental image done.
Which Witchblade? The comic or the anime?
I know. Even in the comic, there was several different characters.
The anime is like
anime is weak and pathetic.
Anime is the right size and proportion from the body that I like to see.
Because the anime, the original Witchblade was about that cop that found the Witchblade, and they turned the character into some random mother in the anime, right?
Yeah, I got a figurine for it.
I have the figurine.
Post says the Abyss was his all-time favorite Tales game. Well, currently, yeah, Vesperia, because of kind of like the how dark the story is. I really like that because I felt that the Tales games, although a lot of them written well, are just kind of that happy-go-lucky type of.
I've only played Vesperia all the way through, so the others are really happy. Happy?
Yes. So
I like a little bit of dark.
Yeah, Vesperia is definitely the darkest of all the stories. Definitely the darkest of all the stories.
That was really well. I couldn't put the control down.
Yeah, I thought the story was great as well. So I'm surprised you canceled Mario, Lance. I thought you really wanted to get.
Here's a 2 Tales game we got on the PS1. Tales of Fantasia.
They're in Japanese.
Eternia.
We can't afford the English.
The Japanese versions, which are in Japanese, which you can't read, Lance. So.
Yeah, I think Japanese wife. I'll start a harem.
Oh my God, that's terrible, Lance. You got to keep that stuff to yourself.
If you do that, Lance, I'm moving. What? I don't care where to. I will be moving.
What happened if it's a Japanese guy add into the party mix too?
I don't care. I'll still move.
It'll be 1 girl and 2 guys.
Hey Lance, you'll be able to play those Tales games on the emulators.
Yeah, I just gotta wait till next month.
You'll be able to play these Japanese ones?
Yeah.
No, he'll be able to play the English ones.
Yeah.
Also, one of the good things about emulators is there are fan translation packs. So you could actually get a game. You could take a ROM that was never. You could take a ROM of a game that was never released in English and add in a fan translation pack, and it will turn all the text to the translated English. Now, how accurate it is, or how accurate it is to
they're not going to be that accurate.
I can't.
There's going to be spelling errors.
Probably. Although there are some really, really, really insanely good fan translation teams out there. There are some really, really good ones.
I know
they're
that,
like almost professional. Basically, they're doing it for free, and they're doing it at like professional level.
Fatal Frame 4 never came to America, but it does have a fan translation. So if you buy it, you have to download the fan translation patch and then put it into your Wii.
Yeah, I mean, there you go. So, and a lot of those what they call repro games that come out for the NES and the SNES, even though they're brand new, they're stuff that was never released in the United States, and it's basically games that weren't released. They were translated by fan translation, and then put on a cartridge, and someone made a cartridge and box art for it, and then they sell them, and you can buy them all over Etsy. Last time I checked, there were tons and tons of repros on Etsy.
But the reason why Fatal Frame 4 never came over here is because it didn't sell well.
I mean, that makes sense, right? Yeah.
And it had horrible controls. It was on the Wii. That's all I gotta say.
I thought that the Silent Hill was made for the Wii. I thought that game was pretty good. You told me you didn't like it. Shattered Memories, was it called? Yeah, Shattered Memories.
Yes.
I kind of like Shattered Memories. You know what's weird about Shattered Memories? They ported it to the PS2 in like 2008, right? Does that make any sense? Why would they do that?
PlayStation 3 was out.
Yeah, PlayStation 3
I thought you
would
just port it to the PlayStation 3.
That's what I don't understand. It came out for the Wii, and then like a couple months later, it was released for the PS2 in 2008, when the PS3 was the system that was on the market, not the PS2.
No wonder it didn't probably sell well, because no one was buying PS2 games.
Exactly, and we all know that the Wii had the worst attach rate, meaning they sold a ton of Wiis, but they didn't sell that many games.
The Wii was just a bad system altogether.
For the most part, I mean, it still has sold more units than any other system, right? That Nintendo has. It's the highest selling system that Nintendo has.
And then you have Fatal Frame 5 that came out on the Wii U.
Did that?
Yeah, it was downloaded. You had to download it. I have it. I just have to beat it. I'm thinking about streaming it, but it's going to be freaking difficult because the pad itself is the camera. So I'll be spinning all around the room.
I have to recall, man. Okay, what happened? Mentioned earlier, Radiant Mythology 234 didn't come to America.
Well, what happened
you can join in. You can rejoin in.
Recall him. I was talking about Fatal Frame 5 too.
Just recalled everyone. You can rejoin. I'll have to recall.
Oh, okay. All right, I just rejoined.
Did you hear the part where I said it was used the pad as a camera?
Controller? Oh, did it?
It's the camera. The pad itself is the camera, and you have to spin all around the room.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
God, in Japan.
I like the controls on the PS2. When they put it to the Wii, they just messed everything up.
Well, they want you to make the Wii as an actual camera, so that's where you're moving it around.
Yeah, but it's also a hurting myself hazard of me falling on my face, which I've done before.
Well, you were playing in the living room in Japan, and I told you to do it on a computer chair and spin yourself around.
But that was with the teaser. They only had the teaser out. Remember?
I bought the whole thing.
You bought the whole thing when we came back to America. When it fully came out, we only had the teaser out in Japan. It didn't come out till the next year.
What'd you say?
This is why you don't have your camera on. That's what Post says.
Oh, yeah, I got shit off. Hold on.
Yeah, so there we go.
Oh, why is my room blue? I can tell you why. Because my camera is really old. I'm on an old laptop, and I'm just using the background light from my television, which is blue.
Mm-hmm.
So, oh no, someone's disappeared. Oh, that's me. No, I'm still here.
And now let's talk about the last subject for the podcast. It will be the mental health. Talking about yesterday. Actually, it was more about mental health than my own self because I don't release certain things on myself until I hear from other people.
So not one of my expert areas, but I mean I've done my.
You think I'm an expert at it?
Yeah, no. I've looked into different drugs and stuff, through my life. Actually, so believe it or not, when I originally went to college, when I first went to college, I was getting my psych degree. I switched into physics later, but I was originally going to school for psychology. Then I was like, you know what, this field sucks. So I transferred out of it. I was like, I want to be an astronomer anyway and work on computers. I don't want to listen to people's problems. I don't want to listen to people at all.
I do that every day without a degree.
Oh, shut up. I listen to your problems all the time, too.
No, I don't listen only to you, but I listen to everyone else.
Definitely go ahead and tell us what you wanted to talk about, Lance. I know you had some stuff. I know you had some stuff on your mind about it. So,
well,
go ahead.
It was interesting on a couple tweets and stuff. I'm not gonna mention the names. It's like one of the people says, "Why YouTuber have I see so far has a lot of mental illness and everything else like that." A lot of times we didn't get it from YouTube. A lot of times it's our past previous life that it developed into mental illness. Like for me, it happened in the military with several medication they now supposed to give me. Basically, got me to the state right now with anxiety and depression and PTSD and so on. It's just that, everyone got to think about medication is that it changed the chemistry of your brain. So with changing the chemistry of the brain, it will not go back if you not stop taking medication. Damage is already done after taking it for several months.
Well, I mean, the prevailing wisdom is that if you stop the medication, then your brain chemistry should go back to how it was before you start taking the medication. It's going to take a little while, but I haven't really heard many studies claim that short-term use of these drugs cause permanent changes to your brain.
I took it for over 2 years, and I stopped taking it for almost 2 years.
So there are studies out there. So every drug has what's called a drug profile, and there are medications used in mental health that do have what they call dangerous drug profile, such as Xanax, Klonopin, Ativan, Valium, for example. And
he was on Xanax.
I was?
I think so.
Yeah, so
did it work?
Those are benzos. Xanax works.
No, I'm asking her, did it work on me?
I don't know. You were on a whole bunch of medicine, and you became a zombie.
Yeah, Xanax definitely is a medication that will turn someone into a zombie. I think
that's one of the reasons why he was a zombie. What the doctors did is that they put him on 3 psych meds at the same time. 3 really bad psych meds. And he became the zombie, and he almost committed suicide because of it.
Wow. I mean, then they clearly didn't have you on the right stuff.
Yeah, that's why I'm very scared taking. I eat medication. I'm fine. I'm just very scared taking medication that literally affects the brain.
So I just want to say that even though medications like Xanax, Klonopin, Ativan, Valium, the PAMs, the benzos, even though they're given a dangerous profile by
What, FDA is trying to ban it?
No, are they? I mean,
I didn't hear anything about that. Anyway, FDA is closed.
I believe that they would try to ban it. I mean, which is ridiculous because you know what? Xanax works. Xanax is a tranquilizer, and if someone's having a panic attack, Xanax will kick them out of a panic attack. Xanax and Klonopin will kick someone out of a panic attack. But I'll tell you what won't work for panic attacks is SSRIs and antipsychotics. I've looked at articles in the New England Journal of Medicine, which is kind of the prevailing journal for medicine in the world. It's one of the biggest ones in the world. And look, SSRIs specifically have a 15% success rate, but the placebo effect is also rated at 15%. So what does that tell you? That means they don't actually work. It means that they only work as a placebo. They don't actually work as an actual drug. They're not actually accomplishing the task of taking care of anxiety or taking care of depression. And these drugs like Lexapro and Zoloft and Paxil, they give them these huge profiles. They say, oh, hey, that Paxil, that'll cure your depression, that'll cure your anxiety. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous to think.
Isn't Zoloft for depression, but it actually makes you suicidal?
I took Zoloft, and I didn't work.
Yeah, Zoloft is an SSRI. And again, I don't believe SSRI drugs help anyone. I think that they're bullshit. But, it's my opinion. Some people claim that they work. But again, we're talking small percentages. We're talking...
If it says it's for depression, but then it also says it can cause you to have suicidal thoughts, I'm like, then what's the purpose for it? If it says it has a high chance of making you have suicidal thoughts, why take it?
Absolutely. The reason why they want people to take them is because they have no addictive properties, whereas benzos and opiate pain medications have very addictive properties. People get addicted to Xanax. People get addicted to pain medication. So they're trying to outlaw them for that reason. That's one of the reasons. One of the other reasons is actually, believe it or not, these medications are quite cheap to manufacture and have been around for a very long time. Mm-hmm. But a medication like Lexapro, which is a brand new SSRI, is expensive to manufacture. So they can charge a lot of money for it. So what would Big Pharma rather have you on? I know this sounds like a conspiracy theory, but God damn it, it's true. Big Pharma would rather have you on Lexapro, an SSRI that does nothing, because they can charge you or your insurance company a ton of money for it, instead of putting you on Xanax, which is an older drug and is cheap to manufacture. But they use the excuse that, oh, well, Xanax and opiates, well, they have very addictive properties, so they're dangerous. So they put them in, they give their drug profile a lot of danger marks, which makes it so that, and then they heavily regulate it, and it makes it so doctors don't want to give them out. See that there are studies that show long-term use of benzos and pain drugs do affect your brain.
Doctors give out opiates all the time.
They don't as much anymore.
I mean, when I got out of the hospital, what was I prescribed when I got out of the hospital? It was a pain medication.
Oxycodone.
Yeah, I was prescribed that.
So that's an opiate, and you know what? But it works.
I took it twice and I didn't like it. It made me sleepy. It made me groggy. It made me feel like crap.
Absolutely.
Try me taking it for 3 years. Try me taking it for 3 years with the other.
So I stopped taking. I think there's one pill left somewhere, and
Lance, your camera went off. By the way,
I know. I need to get another 3. I need to get a very good 3.0 USB hub so you guys can hear my voice.
Oh, you're using the icon that I made for you.
Well, that is our YouTube icon.
Yeah, it's my character dragging you.
Yeah, to hell.
Oh my God, more. But
because I was on so many painkillers, different types as well. I was getting epidural
That's
2-3
what
times a week.
destroyed his digestive system. Is all them pain medication.
That's how my organs are pretty much destroyed now.
So that's what I'm saying. That some of the information in these drug profiles that gives some of these drugs, the benzos for anxiety, the opiates for pain, some of the danger that they say that they cause is true.
Yeah.
But when there's no alternative, for example, let's talk about nerve pain, like different types of neuropathy, right? As we were talking about earlier, today I'm a diabetic, and what do diabetics get? Diabetics get a lot of permanent neuropathy, especially in the feet, right?
Yes, and they can lose their feet because
absolutely, because you lose feeling in your feet, and you don't know that it gets cut, and you get an infection, you lose your foot. But when neuropathy starts, it can be very, very painful, and they literally will try and give you SSRIs for neuropathy. Let me tell you, SSRI drugs do not help neuropathy, but because opiates have such a dangerous drug profile, they don't want to give them to you. But I say when something is the only thing that works, and your quality of life is going to be bad without it, what's the difference then? Would you rather live in pain, which is a really low quality of life? Would you rather live without pain but shorten your life and have a better quality of life? What choice would you take?
I already have a choice. I already have chronic nerve damage and everything. I deal with pain every freaking day.
So, have they tried to give you things like Neurontin, which don't really work?
I stopped taking everything. I only thing I take.
He's told him straight up that he wants no pain medication.
Because my organs are already destroyed. My mental state is already destroyed.
All he wants is help for sleep. That's all he wants. And they gave him
an antipsychotic. So he showed me so I saw a picture of the bottle.
And that's what messed him up to begin with in Japan, is giving him 3 of different types of antipsychotics. That's what made him suicidal in the beginning, to begin with.
So these antipsychotics, they're not supposed to be used as sleep medications. They were never meant to be sleep medications.
But isn't the thing, if you give someone a medicine for bipolar, you can actually make that person become bipolar?
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Well, I can pull it out and look at the side effect. Just give me a sec.
Yeah. I don't know about that, but I was kind of shocked when Lance told me that.
But Lance isn't bipolar.
Yeah.
I went to school with a bunch of people that were bipolar, and I think I would know.
Yeah, I was shocked when Lance told me he went in and told a psychiatrist that he couldn't sleep, and he walks out on an antipsychotic. I don't know. Like,
I mean, Lance is very out there, very exuberant. Maybe they thought he was a bit crazy or something.
Hey, Post. Post is asking about medical marijuana, and this is something me and Lance.
It's not legal here.
Yeah, the problem is Post, where they live, it's not legal. It's also expensive, man. Your insurance is never going to cover medical marijuana, so you have to have.
They don't want to pay for it.
Yeah, you have to get
okay.
So Post where I live, which I live in the Boston area, in Massachusetts, we not only have medical, we have recreational. So all marijuana is legal up here, but you still have to have the $40 to go down to the store and buy the 8. You're never going to have an insurance company cover it, which is a problem. For a lot of people that are in pain and that are poor, they don't have the money to cover marijuana.
This is the clozapine, and the clozapine is used for
anxiety. It's a tranquilizer.
This is what they gave me. This is the one that they gave me. This is
for bipolar. They gave you Klonopin?
Yeah, they gave me Klonopin.
Klonopin is not for bipolar.
It says it's for bipolar disorder. and schizophrenia, study episode of mania or depression associated
put
with
it on,
bipolar disorder.
Put it on camera, because Klonopin
You
is
might
a
be
benzo.
pronouncing it correctly. Let me go look at it.
It's Klonopin is a benzo. Klonopin is just a different form of Xanax. So Klonopin, Xanax, Ativan.
Tiapine.
That's not Klonopin.
What is that?
Klonopin is a benzo. Like I was saying, Klonopin
I can't even get
is
that.
in the same family as Xanax.
There we go. I actually just took my damn paper. Make sure you don't show the address.
No, show everyone where Lance lives.
I will. I do have weapons.
Okay, I'm gonna put the spelling in the chat so you can read it.
But
I need a second screen. Have you ever tried medical marijuana? Yeah, I tried medical marijuana. It actually works. I'm able to run and jump and everything, and able to sleep. But it only helps for a short period. Problem with me with medication is that my body builds tolerance with it, so it wants more dosage of the stuff.
Carl, in the South, in the United States, weed is not legal yet.
Are they ever going to be legal?
I mean, it's legal in almost the entire country.
That's what it says on it.
You're not going to have a choice. Yeah, that's definitely not Klonopin. Klonopin, like I said, is a benzo, which is a Xanax family drug.
Why does it? How do you pronounce it?
It's
Qutipin
fumarate. Qutipin fumarate.
But they just call it Qutipin. And it says this medication is to treat certain mental mood conditions such as schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, sudden episodes of mania, or depression associated with bipolar disorder.
Yes, so
it's an antipsychotic drug.
What's the?
No, hey, Carl, it doesn't matter to me. Where I live in Massachusetts, weed is completely legal. So, I mean, actually, there's a weed dispensary in the town next to me, so I can just run by the government. So I can just go and
go to that weed dispensary.
I don't, but if I had the money, I could just walk right in and buy an eighth and walk right out. And they also sell edibles, and they sell extracts and all sorts of stuff in Salem, Massachusetts, at the Salem dispensary. They have all of that.
Why don't you just buy 2 pot plants and just put it in your balcony or something?
I could. In Massachusetts, it is legal to grow 12 pot plants in your house.
Why don't you just do that? Just save the money and buy it and grow it, and bring it in when it gets cold, because they don't do well. They don't do too well in the cold. But the problem is your cat's gonna eat this damn thing.
I know. So you know what to do? You grow some catnip at the same time.
Lance, did you tell your doctor that you were suffering from depression?
Yeah. Why?
Because this is also for depression.
So it's an antipsychotic. It's really, what they prescribe it for is bipolar disorder most of the time, and it does have properties that cause you to get drowsy.
Its warning is that it can cause suicidal thoughts.
Yeah, of course.
I'm not taking it.
And make your depression worsen.
No, I'm not taking it if anything that has suicidal thoughts in it, because I already been through that path.
And it can cause a stroke, heart failure, or fast irregular heartbeats.
Oh,
it can cause
no. I'm not taking
pneumonia. It can
because I tried almost every medication I'm taking.
It can increase your episodes of mania or depression.
Yeah, don't need it. It has a lot more side effects. If it has more than 2 or 3 side effects, I'm not taking it.
Side effects are constipation, drowsiness, upset stomach, tiredness, weight gain, blurred vision, or tiredness.
That's probably, hopefully they get the side effect of me being tired. Because medication.
You know what though? Don't.
I'm not taking it. I'm just gonna throw it at their face. You're really.
It's stupid. Another medication that has a 15% success rate, which again, I'm going to stress, the placebo effect is 15%. It's roughly 15%. So if your placebo effect equals your success rate, that means the medication doesn't work.
These medications, what works is the side effects of doing harmful things.
because every medication
What they're
took,
supposed to do never happens. It's always the side effect.
The medication
that
I take, that doctors give me, I always get the damn side effect. So I think that's probably why tiredness thing. But I don't want to take any medication that has suicidal thoughts or tendency, because I already been to that road, and I don't want to deal with that shit again.
A lot of those medications, I will say, look, they have one of their side effects. It happens, and they don't even really list it in the profile. One of the side effects that happens with a lot of those psych meds, and I don't mean benzos. I mean like SSRIs and antipsychotics is, and it can be really bad for younger males. Is they cause ED. They cause ED.
What's ED?
Look up ED.
Erectile dysfunction?
Yes.
Okay.
Do I have that problem, Ashley? Do I have a problem in the bed?
Let's not get into your sex life here. I'm only pointing out that is a bad side effect, especially for younger males.
Yeah,
and they don't.
But I think the suicidal thoughts is pretty bad.
That is pretty bad.
Most of these cause that, and it's a high percentage that it causes it.
And they don't want to give you Xanax or Klonopin. But let me tell you what the side effect of Xanax and Klonopin is. You might get addicted to it, but it's going to make you go to sleep. That's the goddamn side effect. And yes, I've seen the studies that have kind of shown that long-term use over decades can cause some brain damage. But I think all of these medications cause that to happen. You know? So I don't think that is something that's only caused by benzos, you know?
Mm-hmm. I'm making a video for this tomorrow for my anxiety and how I cope with it and stuff like that. Because I talked to a few guys
I would just suggest don't take this. Just don't.
I'm not going to take it. I'm not going to take it.
It's for bipolar disorder, and you don't have that.
That's really what it's for. And if they tell you,
I'm just going to throw the pills into the used coffee grinds and discard it.
Lance, if they tell you they give it to you to sleep, never go back to that doctor. Because its drug profile specifically says do not use this as a sleep aid.
Yeah, the problem is that I have VA clinic.
You looked up its drug profile?
Yeah, I sent in the picture and everything.
I looked up its drug profile. Sorry, I can't speak today.
It's antipsychotic.
It's an antipsychotic, and it's generally used for bipolar disorder. And it specifically said, yes, it causes drowsiness, but don't use this as a sleep aid in the drug profile. So if
does it say it could cause someone to be bipolar?
There's one psychiatrist with the meds here in VA. Depression. The other one's 2 hours away, and I don't have a car still. I won't have a car probably till like end of this year or next year.
Lance already suffers from depression. He doesn't need it to get worse.
I know. Looking at you every day, every morning makes me feel wonder. That's why I go to Grim for Netflix and chill.
Netflix and chill. You mean StarCraft and chill, right?
Yeah. Underneath the blanket, we share a blanket together while playing StarCraft.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Let's see here.
Look, if you're having, I just want to end the drug thing on this note. Look, if you are having trouble with anxiety, the only drugs that are going to help you deal with anxiety, especially if you have panic attacks, okay, or panic attacks caused by PTSD, the only things that help that is Xanax, Klonopin, Ativan, and Valium. No, I don't care what they tell you. No other drugs can stop panic attacks. SSRIs and antipsychotics do not help with anxiety. It's a lie. I say it's a lie.
Research it. Just research it.
I think that the research shows that it's not true.
For all medical stuff,
I just want to say, you walk into that doctor and you tell them, this is not helping my anxiety. I want Xanax. I want Klonopin. Okay? And if you don't give them to me, you're not helping.
Yeah,
that's what you said. And if they won't give it to you, you walk out and you find another doctor.
For me, I don't have that luxury, so research it. Don't Google it. Go to an actual certified site like Stanford Medical Journal, stuff like that.
Yeah, you want to look up the drug
You want to go
profile.
to a university, scientific journal, medical journal to research these things. That's
New England Journal of Medicine, which is one of the biggest in the world, is one that I look at all the time.
You go to those sites, see what the test is, the percentage are, what the group, how many group subject that was, how many placebo effect they did on that, stuff like that.
What was the sampling size?
Yeah.
How did they do the sampling?
Yeah, how long was and a course of years and days, months, and years of effect.
You want to make sure that your drug wasn't tested in an Overwatch social experiment.
Yeah. That's one of the things. I'm making a video about how I deal with my anxiety and depression for tomorrow's video, because tomorrow's our content's coming up.
Yeah, but hey, Lance, I'm just telling you, man. Those are the only drugs that work, and if you're getting panic attacks, if you're getting a lot of panic caused by PTSD, or a lot of maybe generalized anxiety disorder, GAD, telling you the only thing that works.
He hasn't had a panic attack in over a year.
No, I had a panic attack after. I know I had a panic attack after the VA appointment. I went to Harrison Teeter's. I went straight to bed. I had a panic attack. There was too many people, and the VA psychiatrist was asking me too many damn questions. I have no answers because you weren't there. My mom was. She doesn't know all my mental state and everything else. You do.
All right, I'll go with you next time, but then I'm gonna yell at her, asking. It's a her, right?
Yeah.
Ask her why she gave you that drug.
What right state of mind said it was okay to give someone who doesn't have bipolar disorder a bipolar disorder medicine?
Yeah. And if she turns around and says to you, "Well, I gave it to you to sleep,"
I'm like, it's not for sleeping.
It's not. The drug was never intended to be a sleep aid.
It's for bipolar disorder. That's what it says, and that's what it's supposed to treat. It says it may cause you to be dizzy, but that's with every single medication.
And the problem is that I have sleep apnea, and they keep telling me, "Oh, you use a sleep apnea machine?" No, I never used this. Like, yeah, but tell me, it's like I tried everything on sleep app. It does not work. It's like
they have new CPAP machines.
Yeah, the small one that goes up your nose.
Yeah, the new ones supposedly, and I don't know for sure. I'm not a medical expert here again. Supposedly they work a lot better and they're not as
noisy,
intrusive, and noisy.
Yeah, but the problem is the VA doesn't have it.
That sucks.
I didn't even told them about it. I want to try that out, but no. I have sleep apnea, sleep insomnia now. So that both mixture doesn't help me much. That's why you see me streaming for like out of nowhere early in the morning for like 12 hours at a time.
But he's been sleeping for 8 hours.
Yeah, I've been sleeping during the night since during the day now. So
that's not. I'm going to say that doesn't necessarily sound like insomnia. Look, I'm in the same boat. I can sleep 8 hours at a time easily, but it's at all different times during the day. It's simply because I have no schedule. I have no schedule to really...
No, the problem was with me, I have insomnia because through the fact that I go within like several days without sleep at a time. The reason why is that I'm able to sleep for this past 2 days is that it's been the 4 to 5 day mark with no sleep. I'm able, then my body just shuts down and then my body just makes me go to sleep.
Yeah, there are days that he goes 2-3 days no sleep at all.
And I go
because he can't go to sleep.
Then my body's like, okay, you're gonna crash now.
He's just tossing and turning, and he can't go to sleep.
And you told the psychiatrist this.
Yeah.
This is the medication that they gave you.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say.
I say they don't know what they're doing.
Apparently not. And
my
these
mom
days,
was on the new CPAP. Didn't work for her. Yeah, the CPAP only works. I think I went to the sleep doctor. And they said like only like 40% of the sleep app machine actually works for people, but the other 60% can't use it because they just can't get used to it.
That sucks. Sleep apnea can cause a person so many problems. That when the machine doesn't work, I mean, what's the solution? I don't know. What do they say the solution is? If you have sleep apnea and the CPAP doesn't work, what do you do?
They give. I tried Ambien, but the problem with Ambien is I sleep text.
You sleep text? What?
Mm-hmm.
So is that like
he was given
sleepwalking?
that, and he was sleep texting his dad. And his dad said, "What are you trying to say?"
Was it like gibberish
Yeah,
or was
Yeah,
it actual sentences?
it was gibberish.
Damn. So that means it puts you in
a trance.
some weird state where you're asleep, not asleep.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like what sleepwalking is, right?
Yeah. That's basically one of the side effects for Ambien was.
Well,
Sleepwalking.
you really do get all of these side effects, man. You gotta stay away from as many of these drugs as you can.
The source of my sleep apnea was in the military, working 12 to 16 hours a day on a jet engine, and just that's how it developed. That's how a lot of people develop. Everyone in the Air Force gets sleep apnea because we're like right next to a freaking flight line, working god ridiculous odd hours, and we just end up getting it towards the end.
Wow. And there's no hope of the condition being reversed?
No, I never heard of sleep apnea becoming reversed.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, I like tonight because I have tinnitus because being
Which
in
is a ringing in your ears, right?
Huh?
Yes.
That's a ringing in
Yes,
your ears.
and that's from being by the jet engines.
Yeah, and it's like that's why I keep repeating and stuff like that.
I have a good understanding of what tinnitus does. It's when the little bones in your ear that vibrate don't stop vibrating. Sometimes it's caused by damage to the bones, and sometimes it's caused by the pressure in your ears being incorrect. Because remember, your ears are actually pressurized, and if the pressure is incorrect, it'll cause those little bones to vibrate, causing tinnitus. And in some people, it comes and goes, and then in other people, it never goes away because the bones, like I said, are permanently damaged. Sounds like also there's eardrum damage. If your eardrum becomes damaged and then it doesn't grow back or heal correctly, that can cause ringing as well.
Yeah, well, everyone gets it working next to a big ass jet engine, every day, every night.
That sounds wow.
Yeah, because even the double hearing protection doesn't do shit because it still penetrates and pierces it.
I mean, and listening to loud music over long periods of time, stuff like that.
This one's like 180 hertz or more.
That's pretty loud. Holy crap.
Yeah.
He was next to a C-5.
It's the biggest plane we have in America.
These are the airplanes that carry tanks and stuff.
And also our rockets for NASA.
True. Opposed to saying that, tinnitus and hearing loss can be caused by nerve damage, which definitely that is a good point. It can be. And, that's something that diabetics need to really watch out for, right?
Yeah, poor Lance, Carl. Give me some money, Carl.
Diabetics are very susceptible to nerve damage. Everything from, you start with the feet and then your digestive system starts to go wacky and your back hurts and your fingers start to hurt and then you go blind and you can lose your hearing and all this crazy stuff if you don't watch your blood sugar and you're diabetic. Your body will just become so damaged, and then your liver becomes damaged and your kidneys become damaged, and then you die. It's a sad life.
Well, you're the only one that's in this group that's diabetic.
Yes, when I take my medication, so I'm not running these insanely high blood sugar. So,
yeah.
I think I'm the only healthy one here.
No, you married me. Something's wrong with you.
Oh my God.
Well,
Lance shoots himself in the foot again.
Oh, don't worry.
Graham here's best friends with you, Lance, so there must be something wrong with him.
Oh, yeah, I'm an incel, that's why. Actually, I'm not an incel. Like, I don't fit the definition of incel. I'm like a hobbit.
You go with the flow?
Yeah, I go with the flow.
Exactly. I'll be Gandalf.
And I live in a little hole. I live in a little hole. I don't ever leave it.
Until I come in, let's play StarCraft.
So does that mean Lance is the orc?
No.
Yes.
No, I'll be Smeagol.
The deformed hobbits.
Poor Lance, poor Grim, poor Ashley, poor everyone. Everyone's poor. Okay, I need to end the podcast. It's been over 2 hours, so
yes, absolutely.
That's pretty good.
So I'm glad we got to talk about what you wanted to talk about, and Lance, and we'll continue more game discussions next week.
All right, cool. All right, then, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Share, like the video, and we'll see you next Sunday. Tomorrow's going to be the regular content. We'll also be talking about my anxiety, depression, how I cope with it as well. Well, anyhow, guys, have a great 2019, the beginning of the year. Let's see how long this government shutdown is going to last. Bye.